Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again on this rainy Monday. Victorious Cowboy Victory Monday. We'll spend the next 24 hours, well, today, loving the win and enjoying the win. And then tomorrow, it's back to work. Back to looking forward to week 3, which is Seattle, and that's going to be some interesting stuff going on for this week coming. So I'll be talking more about Seattle as the week goes along. But right now, just some news around the league right now, just craziness. I'll be honest with you, this start of the season has been interesting. Just seeing the games, who's been winning, who's been losing, with the new overtime rules. I've never seen 2 weeks in a row where there's been a game where it ended in a tie. It's crazy. Speaking of that tie, the Vikings cut Carlson, I think that's his name, their kicker, which missed 3 field goals in the game, which you cannot do. How do you miss 3 field goals in a game? I understand if, like, you know, the elements, it was real windy outside, the angle was bad, it was too long, but you don't miss all 3. That's your job. That's what you do. You don't do anything else on the team. You kick. You got to come out here and execute. This is the NFL. They're not playing no games. And they set an example, and they cut him. And guess what? They signed our old kicker, Dan Bailey. Now, it was funny because at Mark's house last night, we were actually talking about this. Who's Dan Bailey going to go to? We were watching the game like all these kickers are missing. The Browns kicker messed up. The Vikings kicker messed up. Dan Bailey going to the Browns? We already knew Dan Bailey don't want to go to no Browns. Now, as a kicker, we knew that whatever team he went to, they were going to pretty much pay him about the same thing because, you know, that's kicker veteran money. So, but yeah, the Vikings plan on signing Dan Bailey, and it's going to be so weird seeing Dan Bailey in another uniform. I mean, he's been everything for us. And, you know, I'm a type person, I don't try to fall in love with players, but it's hard not to with a guy like Dan Bailey because of the simple fact that he was a stand-up guy. He didn't get in trouble. You know, he did his thing. And, hey, he was our franchise kicker. He was the best in our franchise. Now, you know, I'm happy for him that, you know, he's got another job somewhere else. But we have to look forward to what the new kicker that we have with Brett Maher. He made his field goals and extra points in the game this week, so he bounced back from last week, so that's a good thing. But for the most part, we'll still miss Dan Bailey in that aspect because of what he's done for us over the last 7 years. Now, Josh Gordon, this one I'm actually shocked about. Looks like the Patriots are... it's not official yet, but it looks like the Patriots are in the business of signing Josh Gordon right now, which I'm actually shocked because Bill Belichick is normally a no-nonsense type of coach. You know, he doesn't bring in troublemakers like that. Well, I mean, he had Chad Ochocinco, but I mean, he didn't have issues like that. He was just like a T.O. type of guy. He was just a clown. But if anybody can get Josh Gordon back on the straight and narrow, it's got to be Bill Belichick because, again, the Patriots organization is no nonsense. You come in there and you fit to the way that they do things because if you don't, you out of there. So, I mean, if in fact Josh Gordon does go to the Patriots, I'm curious to see how that plays out with him, but the way they played yesterday, they can use some new receivers, some targets for Tom Brady because watching that game, they just had an offensive breakdown. They just had brain farts all over the field yesterday. As far as the Cowboys go, I still haven't heard any news yet about Bryce Butler. It's funny because Stephen Jones did an interview with I think 105 Fan, the local radio station in Dallas, and they were asking him about Dez Bryant, and of course he says the cliche thing, you know, right now we're focused on the guys that we have, blase 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 blase, but then he goes on to say that I'm not opposed to it happening. So I'm like, what? Weren't you the one that wanted to get rid of Dez Bryant, and all of a sudden you want him back? Not necessarily that he wants him back, but he just said that anything is possible. But they're not looking for him right now. I don't know what that means, but it is what it is. I know that we got a lot of wide receivers on this team right now. So, you know, you don't want to go in there and start causing trouble in the locker room, because you got these guys already coming in here trying to mesh with Dak, and you have some sort of positivity going on along this offensive front. And you don't want to stop that progress by bringing a person in that you cut, that you had bad blood with. I mean, it's a lot of different factors that play in that. I mean, the same thing with the Bryce Butler thing. I don't know. I'm not gonna really say what I feel about it, because I don't know how I feel about it right now. I just want what's best for the team. That's what I want. I want whoever's gonna be on this team. I want people that wants to be there, that wants to work with Dak, that wants to win, and that's all I'm worried about right now. Now we all know Dez is passionate about football. He always wants to win. I never faulted him for that. Never. My only grief with Dez was when he was here was for a guy of his caliber and his talent, he should have been working on his route running a little bit more than you know that you have a weakness somewhere, but you got to work on that. You can't just rely on your sheer strength and being able to just body everybody. That's all good and dandy, but you got to be a smooth route runner, and to be successful in this league, you got to run routes, and that's just the bottom line. Because again, stuff becomes stale, just like with our offense. Everybody knows what we're going to do because we have the same thing. We do the same things over and over again. And that's why these players do this when they leave, because they're like, I want to do more than that. So if you want to do more than that, you got to be smooth with your route running. That way you can play the X, the Y, you slot, whatever it is that you do, you can do all the positions on the receiver route tree. So, I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention. What y'all think about Dan Bailey going to the Vikings? And like I said, I'm happy for him. Because, you know, but it's just going to be weird seeing him in that purple. Seeing him in that purple and white is going to be interesting. And he's going to be up there with Kirk Cousins and helping them win. It's funny what a year can do to a team. It's like, you go into the offseason not thinking that nobody ever thought that was going to happen. Because you look at your team, you're like, all right, these are our core guys. These are the people that are going to be here for the rest of their career. You would never think of seeing them in another uniform. And then all of a sudden you just look up and it's like, oh, they're in another uniform. But that is what it is. But Josh Gordon, that one going to the Patriots is definitely an interesting thing for me right now. Like if he does in fact get signed, I'm definitely going to be looking out for that one, because I want to see how he does with them, because that's going to be interesting, because the Browns kept saying they cut him because they didn't trust him. They thought he was still on the drugs and he was doing this and doing that and not holding his promises up and so on and so forth. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But if anything else comes through, I'll probably do another video later about it. But with that being said, y'all, that's all I got for right now. It's your boy E2 Blue. I'll holler at y'all later. Have a great day.